Chapter 1. One day we started to try to look for treasure. You will see that we tried very hard to find it. There are 6 children in our family, and then there is father. Our mother is dead. I will not talk about her. We all loved her, so it is difficult to talk about her. We live in Lewisham Road in London. We are the Bastables. Dora is the oldest. Then there is Oswald, that's me. Then Dickie is next. Then Alice and Noel, who were born at the same time. After them comes Horace Octavius, who is my youngest brother. Everybody calls him H.O. We have a problem. Father lost all his money. His business went wrong. We weren't always poor. Now we are poor. Now we do not have nice things, and father does not give us money. And all the chairs and plates and things in the house are old, and we do not go to school. Now father never tells us that we are poor, Dora said one day. But we all know we must do something, said Alice. Yes, but what can we do? Asked Dickie. Let's read all our books again, said Noel. We'll get a lot of ideas out of them. Noel wrote poems and always read books. Then Dickie said, let's be quiet for 10 minutes. How can we find treasure? We must each think about that. Then we'll try all our ideas one after the other. After 10 minutes, we all started to talk at the same time, but Dora told us to be quiet. I spoke first. We must save someone from danger. He'll give us a lot of money because he'll be very happy with us. But there's no danger near here, said Dora. What do you think, Alice? Noel must find a princess and marry her, said Alice. I don't want to marry a princess, said Noel. I want to put my poems in a book. People will buy the book, and then we'll be rich. That's a bad idea, said Dickie. Who's going to buy your poems? We must start a business. I think we start with a little money. We buy some things and sell them for more money. It's easy. We'll soon be rich. But we have no money to buy the things, Noel said. H.O. said, let's be robbers and take money from people. That's a bad thing to do, said Dora. But in books, people always find money in the ground. Some people hide their money in the ground and other people find it. So we must dig for money. Let's do it now because I'm the oldest. Chapter 2. We started to dig in the garden. It was hard work because the ground was very hard. We dug and dug and dug, but we found nothing. Soon Albert came from the next house. We like his uncle who lives there, but we do not like Albert very much. But his father is dead, so we are sorry for him and we try to be friendly. Albert's uncle writes books, and when he talks, children can understand him. What are you doing? Albert asked. We're digging for treasure, said Alice. You can help us. Albert laughed and said, you won't find any treasure in your garden. Albert is not very good at games. He does not read many books, so he does not have many ideas. But I said, come and dig. You can have some of the treasure when we find it. I don't want to dig, said Albert. I want to go and have my tea. But Alice asked him nicely, and then he came and started digging. We all worked too. Pincher, our dog, tried to dig near us. Then Albert fell in the hole and the ground fell on him. We could see only his head. We tried to get him out, but we could not. He cried and cried. Dickie went to get Albert's uncle from the next house. Why are you crying? Albert's uncle asked when he came. I can't get out, Albert said. Stop crying, please, said his uncle. We're trying to find treasure, Alice said. I think we were close. Albert's uncle started digging Albert out of the ground. When he pulled him out, he was all dirty. Look, look, said Albert's uncle. You were right. You were close to some treasure. There it is, in the hole. He sat down and took something out of the hole. We all ran and looked, and there in his hand was 1 pound. There was no money in the hole before, Dora said and looked at Albert's uncle. You are lucky, said Albert's uncle. The first time you look for treasure, you find some. Chapter 3. With this money we can start a business, said Dickie. No, said Dora. We must get much more first. And I want to buy a pencil, said Noel. We all wanted to buy things. Soon we had only 10 pence. We found some treasure, I said. But we aren't rich. What are we going to do next? Let's take my poems to a newspaper, Noel said. I think they'll buy them for a lot of money. We wrote 6 of Noel's poems on some paper. Then he and I took the train into London. I went with him because I am older. A woman sat down near us in the train. We started talking to her. "This is my brother Noel," I said. "We are going to London to sell his poems to a newspaper. We want to help our father. He has no money. I'm very interested." The woman said, "I write poems too. You know, I'm always happy to meet a writer of poems. My name is Mrs. Leslie. Can I read your poems, Noel? I will show you some of my poems too." She read Noel's poems. I liked them a lot. She said, "I think you'll be a famous writer of poems one day." When the train stopped,